I got to talk to you about something that I saw recently. Actually, I follow the sport of track and field really hard, right? I follow it so hard, it's not even funny. So, something that came out of Jamaica recently. There's a kid, he's really fast. His name is Bouwahjgie Nkrumie. He goes to Kingston College, and he represented Jamaica recently at some meet. I think it was like World Juniors or World Youth. And he finished second and ran 10.02. Here's the thing with 10.02. With 10.02, that is really, really fast because the qualification for the world champs is 10 flat. But he did 10.02. Coming into the meet, though, he was at 10.22. Now, he's going to be a junior athlete next year. And, of course, when you run 10.02, things change. A lot of people start calling you and noticing you. And in his situation, he started getting more offers from colleges and professional outfits. And Nkrumie, in a Gleaner article, the national junior 100 meters record holder, I said Bouwahjgie, I don't remember how to pronounce his first name, but I call him by his last name, Nkrumie, will be returning to Kingston College for the upcoming school year after turning down a number of professional outfits and also colleges and clubs overseas. Now, he told the Gleaner that after talking with his family, they decided that it was best to go to do it because he wanted to complete his high school career. And my thing is, and I think this is the problem I have with boys and girls champs and the coaching that occurs in Jamaica with these kids. I love champs. Don't get it twisted. I ran at champs between 88 and 93. Right, it's really good. You walk through the tunnel. You got 30,000 screaming fans. You wear your school colors proudly. You win some races. You run fast. You do good and everything. Right. But when you get caught up into it to the point where you are going back to finish your high school career, it's not a career. High school sports is not a career. It's an extracurricular activity. Okay, it's not a career. First of all. So he says, I'm going back to school to finish school. I think it is the perfect decision. Maybe some people are going to say, why didn't he go professional? But it's not what people think. And when I analyze the whole thing, I just made my decision because I'm not in any rush. Young man, you are 18. All right? You are 18. And I'm not telling you to rush, right? I'm telling you, you're at the right moment. You're at the right time to make a move, right? Now, you say you want to finish school, right? And but he also goes on to say in the article, I got professional offers and offers from local colleges and all of that. Now, listen to this. He underscores the fact that he has 9 Caribbean secondary education certificate subjects, according to him. Let me get this straight. You have 9 subjects. And you ran 10.02, which is a professional time, okay? You're knocking on that door. 10.0 is a qualifying time, but 10.02, you're there, bro. And you have 9 subjects. So not only have you qualified to go to a college for tertiary education, you also qualified to become a professional. What in heaven's gates are you still doing in high school? Didn't your parents not say that to you? Didn't your coach not say that to you? But then he goes on to say, remember that I am young. I'm still young because I'm 18 years old. So this is the right decision. And Nkrumie, it's not the right decision. Your teammate, Jaden Hibbert, who already jumped the qualifying standard in the triple jump at the same meet you ran your 10.02, left 2 days ago to go to University of Arkansas. A school, University of Arkansas, which has always taken Kingston College athletes. There was Omar McLeod, the Olympic champion. There's Wayne Pinnock, the NCAA champion. There's Kieran McLeod, who's currently there. He's NCAA All-American. I think between him and Pinnock, they're always battling to see who finishes first or second in the NCAAs the last 2 years. Right? But Jaden Hibbert, who has made the qualifying mark for the World Championships next year, who is a couple months younger than you, has gone to college. He could have gone back to KC, but he went to college. Then he says, I may rush going into professional ranks, and something happens. So I'm going to finish school and get my education and get some more subjects, including Caribbean Advanced Placement Examinations, or CAPE. That's like advanced level. Now I'm saying to this young man, if you were my son, there is no way I'm going to co-sign you at a 10.02 going back for more subjects. You're either going pro or you're going tertiary. Or you're going tertiary with the pro. Okay? You're not going to go back to boys champs. What do you have to prove at boys champs? Somebody said maybe he wants to get the record at boys champs because a quote unquote a foreigner has it. Right? And I think that foreigner is now running for Great Britain. What's his name? It's not Delano. It's the other one. And he's now a pilot. I know he's a pilot. I can't remember. His name slips me right now. Right? So my question to you is, what are you really doing right now? What are you really telling us in Nkrumie that you're not actually saying? Right? What are you not saying? And it says here, Nkrumie, who was the second place finisher in the boys class 100 meters at the final champs last year. Right? I don't care if you finish second. The fact is you're at a 10.02. If you're coming back just to say you won boys and girls champs, that's not good enough, bro. Because look right behind you. A younger kid is moving on, right? Another question that arises is, could Nkrumie be leaving in January? Could he be going off in January and it's just giving us a pill, right? Because he ran a 10.02 as some would consider late in the season, late in when schools give out scholarships and so forth, right? What was that about? Okay? What was that about? Is it really giving us the truth and nothing but the truth? In Jamaica, there are at least two great pro clubs out there, right? At least two, right? But I want to say that he could have gone to either of those two outfits and would have done really, really great, right? One led by Glenn Mills, and the other one, which is Usain Bolt, coach, and the other one led by Michael Frater, right? So I don't buy it, man. I don't buy it that you have to get out of there or you have to stay there because, right? Now he could have also gone to UE or UTech instead of go to KC. You know, the other part that gets me, or that bothers me, I should say, is that he's going back to Kingston College. And historically, Kingston College does not take back athletes who have qualified to move on up out of there. They push them out. Take my nephew, for example. When he went there, you know, during the recruiting process, they told me directly, looked me in my eye and said, look, once he qualifies, right? Once he qualifies, he got to go, right? And when he had his scores ready to go, that was that. Okay? That was that. There was no hanging around. And he said he felt it. He felt once he finished and he got everything, he started realizing that they were finding someone to replace him. Now, I don't know if anybody from Kingston College who's very close to the situation is there, right? Please let me know. Okay? Please let me know. Hit me up. You know? Hit me up. Let me know. Because I would really love to know what's going on with that situation, because that goes against what Kingston College has been doing. They have this thing that some people call the one and done phenomenon, where you go there for like 1 year and then you leave because you go off to college or you go professional. But this guy is ready for professional and stays in high school, right? Now, let me get this straight. There was a young lady a couple years ago named Sydney McLaughlin. She runs the 400 hurdles, and she just ran a serious super duper uber world record recently. Now, when she was 16, she went to the Olympics and she made a semifinal. After she finished that semifinal, right, she went back to high school and then went to college and then went pro. But you see, high school here in America is a little different from in Jamaica, because in Jamaica you could be there until you're like 19, almost 20. Sydney's now 21, 22, and she's been a professional for the last 2 years, and she's now married, right? But the difference is she went back and executed a plan that I think was more thought out than Nkrumie. Because even though Sydney went to the semifinal, her times were just not enough for anyone to sign her and say, you're a professional. And that is a huge difference in both cases. Now, recently, a couple girls signed to go professional, Tia and Tina Clayton. Their times, to me, are not great. It's not the time that I, as a shoe company, as a sponsor, would go and say, you know what, we're going to invest right here. Because the return may not occur. Because there's a problem in Jamaica right now with the women sprinting. And it's a good problem. The problem is you have the triple threat. Shericka Jackson, Elaine Thompson-Herah, and Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price. So it's very top heavy for me to sign two girls right now to go in. Yeah, they might say Shelly's out, is getting ready to get out, but she's not yet ready to get out, right? She's not moving right now. Elaine has several more years, not to mention Shericka. Shericka is pretty young, right, compared. Then you have Brianna Williams right behind them, and you have Kemba Nelson. So to me, what is the upside of signing somebody much slower than those five ladies when they're back-to-back-to-back world champs, Olympics, and then world champs again, to have my athletes who I just signed not represent, because you already have 5 or 6 girls ahead of those people. It's like right now, if Nkrumie had signed, he has a very good chance of making not just the national team, because the 100 meters and 200 meters in Jamaica right now is really very open. There are not many people, as in, say, when there was Bolt, Blake, Carter, Freighter, Ashmead, Bailey Cole, and the list goes on. Warren Weir, right? So any newcomer trying to go up against those 7 guys was going to have a huge issue. Oh, Anasafa Power. So that's all lanes. That's 8 lanes right there. Those were your guys. With Powell, Bolt, Blake, and Ashmead or Carter leading the way in terms of who's going to get the top 4 spots. So you getting in would have been very difficult, because over the last several years, only 5 Jamaican men have medaled in any world championships. And that's Bolt, Blake, Ashmead, Carter is questionable, and somebody else. I can't remember the 5th person. And that is what the girls would be facing. And Nkrumie now has his lane wide open, because you have Oblique Seville. He's running well. Then you have Akeem Blake. And then here comes Nkrumie. Right? So he has a lot of upside to go professional right now. Strike the iron while it's hot. It's kind of like Sha'Carri Richardson. Sha'Carri had to strike the iron right now when she did it like 2 years ago when she left LSU. Because had she waited, we see what would have been happening, right? We see what would be happening. So sometimes you have to strike the iron when it's hot. And right now it's very hot for Nkrumie. My hope is that he doesn't get hurt in his final season, because I've seen good athletes get hurt going back to high school very recently. Chris Taylor, Calabar, and Javon Francis from Calabar. Javon Francis, a couple of years ago, like 5 years ago, he went back to Calabar after going to the world champs and getting a silver medal in the 4x4 or bronze medal, whatever. To me, once you get a world championship medal like that, there's no need for you to go back to high school. You need to go professional or go to a tertiary level education. That's what you need to do once you get that level of recognition. Once you have that senior world medal, there is no need for you to go back to high school. Because what happened with Javon Francis was he was entered the following year in the 200 and 400 for Calabar at the championships. He never had a reason to be entered in both events either. But he was entered in both events, the 200 and the 400. And the reason why they never had any business entering him is because Calabar had a plethora of athletes who would do very well in the final. Maybe not win, but they would still score a good number of points. But they went with Francis for the 200 and the 400. Now, the finals of the 2 and the 4 is on a Saturday with about a 2-hour break in between. Easy enough, right? Not easy enough. Because not only does Javon win the 400, he also sets a record, which means he's taking his body, is it a record or a PB? He's taking his body where it's never been before. And at the end of the race, I was at the stadium. No, it was more than 5 years ago, Javon. Probably like 8. Javon is on the track after he wins the 400 and does 10 push-ups. You just win, you ran a PB, and now you're doing 10 push-ups, and you still have 3 more races because he has a 200 final, the 4x1 final, and the 4x4. He gets to the 200 meters. He doesn't have to run the race. Calabar, statistically, by the 200 meters is running, Calabar already wins the championships. But he still runs. He gets hurt in that 200. And in that 200, he had Odell Todd, Javon Minzy, that same kid, I can't remember his name, and some other people. Right? So it was a really classy field. But he ran anyways and did not finish the race because he pulled his hamstring. And that definitely slowed him down. When I saw the video of him at the Calabar the Monday when they're having the devotion at the chapel and, he's trying to stand up straight and everything, you could see his leg was hurting. That's how bad it was. He never had to run. He should not have ran. Then with Chris Taylor, he went back the following year. He went back like 2 more years trying to finish his high school career. He ends up injured, getting into tussles with teachers. And then at the end of all of that, what ends up happening is he goes to the championship, his final meet, and could not win his pet event. I think he finished second, right? So for me with Nkrumie, I get it. You have the age, but I'm telling you, so what? You need to step up to the plate, put on your big boy pants, and go professional or go tertiary level education. Because it doesn't make sense to go back for more high school education when you already have the 9 subjects, Bridget. You already have 9 subjects. It's time to go. It's time to fly the coop. No sense in staying, right? So that's my word to Mr. Nkrumie. Maybe he's just giving us that story to send us wide. Maybe just sending us wide. And if that's what he's doing, then I'll be happy if he leaves and goes to college in January, whether it be UA, UTech, or some college in America. That's a good college, of course. If that's what he wants to do, that's fine, right? But don't come and tell me, and you want me to believe you when you're telling me that you're going back to finish up your high school career. Let's go back to it now, people. In high school, you ain't got no career. It's extracurricular activity. You're not going to retire from high school. You graduate. You're not going to have a press conference that, I'm moving on. No, you graduate. The school sets it up for you. They give you a piece of paper. You walk in a cap and a gown. You shake hands with the principal and the provost and all these people, and you walk across. You hug your friends. You play that song. It's so hard to say goodbye, or that song from the Lemon Sea, whatever song. You know the song I'm talking about. Those graduation song, the Titanic song, right? That's what you do. You don't have a press conference that you're leaving. You just leave. It's called a school leaving ceremony. It's not a school retirement ceremony. No. And 20 years from now, you have a reunion, okay, with your boys. Or you link up every year. You link up wherever you link up. So my question is, what is really holding Nkrumie at Kingston College? Who really sat with him and had that discussion that it makes sense to go back to school, back to high school? That is my issue. I have no issue with him not leaving Jamaica. My issue is, why are you going back to high school? And if you go back to high school, you really can't run at champs as a professional. I said, don't think so. I'd have to double check the rules from ISA. What do they feel about athletes who get paid to running at the championships? And I mean, if it's only champs that he misses because he has the age to go to the other meets during the season, then fine. But you cannot sensibly tell me, look me in my eyes, in my face, and tell me that going back to high school to do more high school stuff was best for your future as a young man. No, I get it. I I repeated upper six, but that was different. I knew I had a scholarship, but it wouldn't take effect until a certain date. And to maintain my eligibility, I just held off on leaving high school. So I went back. I wasn't doing anything. I had my A-levels, my O-levels, everything, right? All I had to do was go back and wait. But you have an option to go pro. I never had that option. Or maybe you're trying to secure your possibly NCAA eligibility by staying in high school, because if you go pro and it doesn't work out, you don't have an opportunity to go back into the NCAA. You're going to have to pay back all the monies to get into NCAA. And by then, you'd have also lost a year of eligibility because you're out of high school. So you understand these rules. So I'd really love to know, what is it, about this young man, why he doesn't leave high school, And I agree with you. He has poor guidance. Poor guidance. It makes zero sense. Right? I sincerely hope that in January, I'm reporting that he's off to a college. I don't care which college. UA, UTech, University of whatever in America, whatever state university, right? But he needs to make that move. Going back for more high school subjects is not a progressive move. It's really not. It's a colossal waste of time. Colossal. You have one of your younger teammates who left the other day to go to school. Maybe a school that you would have gone to as well. So it's a colossal waste. So that's what I got to say about that, man. I hope he does it good. I hope he does it. I hope he actually gets in.